2 weeks in. 2 weeks in on a journey in full-time Valorant. My mic's working this time. That's good. I actually made a whole take where the mic wasn't even recording. So, unless my viewers can read lips, that one was not coming out. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get some better rank up progress, some better improvement progress, perhaps after week 2. And I think that's not exactly incorrect. Like, I don't even think I don't think it's wrong to say that I did improve. It's just we didn't improve in RR per se. From a mental side of the game, I think I did rank up. It's hard to see the results if we just look at those last couple of days. But during those other games, like I had times where I was able to focus, take a few deep breaths, and literally like pull 4Ks and 5Ks and stuff the next round. I think I'm figuring something out with this mental stuff with the inner game of tennis. It's just going to take longer to fully master the mental side of Valorant. I feel like I'd be selling you something if, I said I was a clutch god or like a god at the game after 1 week. And the inner game of tennis itself is kind of based off of principles of Buddhism and Zen Buddhism. So that is something that's very tricky. You don't start meditating for a week and then become a Buddha or reach full enlightenment by the end of the week. It takes a lot longer than that. Some say it even takes multiple lifetimes. So it may take me multiple lifetimes to become a master of Valorant at that point. But yeah, I always knew that this was going to be a factor, that overcoming tilt and overcoming the mental side of Valorant would be part of the difficulty of trying to pursue it full time for a year. Especially because if you're pursuing something like this full time, by definition, it's going to take a much bigger part of your life rather than doing it as, an hour a night or something like that, just very casually. Your main driver of your day is something that depends on like 4 other people to cooperate with you. It depends on like not getting smurfs on the enemy team. I mean, it depends on those things insofar as if you make winning your metric and you care so much about winning, or you base an ego off of winning. But if you let go of ego and you let go of the result and you just focus on your ability and your skill as a player, I think you can avoid some of those pitfalls. So yeah, moving forward, that will be the real challenge. I mean, to some extent, it's a little annoying because I performed better at the start of this whole journey, like my first couple of days, than I did like the past couple of days, when I was kind of getting the tilt again and losing my ability to like focus in on the game. So it's like, what does that mean? Full-time Valorant and I'm playing worse. Like I'm not actually ranking up. So it's understandably frustrating. But, I think there's going to be like ebbs and flows. I'm hoping that my skill overall will be increasing as these weeks go by. And then even if my RR drops temporarily next week, hopefully I can bring that energy of everything I've done so far and everything I've learned so far and even play better than I was on some of the better days I played this week. 2 weeks in, I mean, I haven't even done serious VOD reviewing. I haven't done serious, like, focusing on changes in game. This 3rd week, we're going to be putting everything together. We're putting together just trying to have fun with the game, while also trying to have a clean mental about the game, while also choosing specific focuses in game every round on what I'm trying to do. Without, overthinking, but just kind of starting the round like, okay, I'm going to stand over here at the start of the round, and I'm going to wait for the enemy to do this, or I'm going to take a teammate, and we're going to throw util A site on Lotus to fight for A as defenders. Yeah, I mean, this is like the most common coaching advice you get, so finally I'm going to be integrating that going into this next week. And then hopefully we'll have a lot of data, like, okay, I'm playing at my best, I'm playing not tilted, hopefully, for most of the games. I'm playing with a plan, and this is still not working. So what do we change, And then I'll try to fix some of those things myself in VOD review, but also this week I'm going to be seriously looking about finding a coach. Maybe my content isn't big enough to like attract a coach on its own, but I got money. I could pay someone to coach me. I could find someone to coach me. So going to be looking for the right fit ultimately with a coach. Someone who I think is non-judgmental, who I think can believe in me and what I'm doing, and has the knowledge and has the skills to impart better playing onto me, or bring out the better playing in me, at least. Someone who respects the neon me. That would be good too. Yeah, I mean, I went through a period Friday night, because I'm recording this actually all the way on my Sunday night. And it's not really Sunday, but it's just the best way for you to think about it. Because I play 5 days a week, and I take 2 days to do content and just get stuff done that I have to do in life in general. It'd be hard to just do 7 hours, 8 hours of Valorant every single day of the week. Maybe that's more true to full-time Valorant, or like trying to make it, but it's just not practical. And I do want to play some Valorant on the weekends at some point, but we got to work up to that with everything else going on. But yeah, I had a period on my 5th day where I was pretty pissed, and I realized like I was just kind of putting too much into the game. Like I wasn't connecting to things going on in my personal life, or trying to find other ways of just grounding myself in life. I mean, I was practicing grounding myself and being non-judgmental about the game, but at the same time, it's like when you're just playing Valorant all day, every day, you end up putting more and more stake in that, and you don't think about the rest of life, you know? I was getting out and doing some workouts, but I was thinking about my content. I was thinking about the game, and you kind of need to take a step back and be like, okay, the game isn't all of life. I am a human being. I exist in a world, you know? Ground yourself in a little bit of nature, ground yourself in friendships and family that value you outside of how you play in a game. And yeah, just kind of have it the bigger picture in mind, right? Like I'm on this content creation journey, but I'm still a human being. I still have other dreams and other ambitions, and if this doesn't work out, I'm still worthwhile as a human. You know, my worth isn't determined insofar as I can perform at Valorant. And I think that could be a pitfall in improvement in anything, right? People get that way about their jobs. They put too much stake into their work, and they become workaholics, or they care too much about what their manager thinks of them. People can get that way with school and grades in the same way. Any hobby you can get that way with. Any hobby you take too seriously, right? Or you can get that way with Valorant, you can get that way with sports, you can get that way with games. When you attach yourself too much to that thing, you no longer are like really someone playing that game, but you're kind of like dependent on that thing for your identity, right? You're a player of Valorant, but you're also a person. You don't want to just be defined by one thing. It's a very precarious way to be, because no one thing in this world is really some sort of stable, everlasting thing. Everything can fall apart. Any one thing can fall apart, right? If the only way you feel safe is in a relationship, if your partner breaks up with you or cheats on you or whatever, you're equally screwed. So you have to fill up your cup through many different fountains. Because one of those fountains breaks, man, you're gonna be not drinking anything. So better have some other fountains to go get some water, or Coke, or Mountain Dew, or whatever the hell you drinking. So, yeah. You know, it was interesting in the state I was getting in some of these Valorant games, this flow state, because I had meditated a lot before. You know, I not a lot, like as much as some people, but I went to a meditation retreat for 7 days, or for 10 days. I went to a meditation retreat for 10 days, a silent retreat where the only thing you could do is meditate. You could eat, you could meditate, you could sleep, but you couldn't write, you couldn't read, you couldn't use your phone, couldn't talk to anybody. You were just there, and you had to go around from day to day and just meditate all damn day. And I felt like I never really found a flow state, or I never could really silence my mind. But during some of those Valorant games, when I kind of learned how to silence the inner critic and just play the game, like I felt I was in a flow state. I felt that while surfing, I felt that while snowboarding, and you can get it in a video game too, if you learn how to quiet your mind. Does this mean that like the pros are doing this all the time and that's why they play so well? I couldn't tell you. It seems like they can play very distracted and still play really well, but I'd imagine this kind of thing would help them too, and that's probably what happens when they're in the middle of a heated VCT match and it's match point and they have to clutch a 1v3 to win the game. Like, it might be something like this that's activating, whether or not they know it. Yeah, I mean, this is just another tool at the end of the day. I still have to improve as a player in other ways. I have to improve my mechanics. I have to improve my crosshair placement. Like, the flow state can't give me those things. It can only just pull them out of me. So, like, a lot of these things in Valorant, I studied for a long time. I watched a lot of Valorant videos. I watched a lot of Valorant pro play and streamers play. And, it's like those things are inside me. It's just they're dormant. They needed to wake up. They needed to be drawn out of me. Or I need to be able to access them. And you can't access them by thinking about it in the game, right? Like, you can improve your crosshair placement a bit if you're consciously focusing on it in game, but you can't think of that and think of your util and think of team strats and think of like gunfight hygiene. You can't think about all those things at once. Like, some other part of you, like just the doing part of you, like when you play an instrument or something, that doing part of you needs to just like know what to do and just kind of do it. It needs to be a habit. Like, when someone's playing guitar and they're doing an insane guitar solo, they're not thinking of every individual step of each of their fingers to play the next note. They're just playing. Like, in their mind, they know the riff they want to start, and maybe they're doing a little bit of thinking to get their hand started, but when it's going, man, they're just playing. So there's a lot of things in life like that, and I think Valorant is one of them because it's a fast-paced game. It's not chess. It's FPS chess, if you want to call it compared to chess. I mean, yeah, there's strategy, but it's also shooting and running around and reacting, sometimes very fastly, which is the beauty of it, man. Like, at the end of the day, I think that's probably what drew me to Valorant in the first place and why I like it. It's like those highs you get in those moments where you're not thinking and you can just play and you can just do. Like, that's why I like snowboarding. That's why I'm interested in trying to pursue surfing. I've done a little bit of surfing where I could feel that. I like that feeling of just feeling at one with your body. Because, like, I think my intellectual brain has been very useful in life. Like, it's helped me with a lot of things. It's helped me get into a good college. It's helped me get a good job. Helped me figure out a lot of shit about myself and about the world. But it's not useful all the time. And it needs to be a balance between just feeling and doing while also thinking. So maybe Valorant is a way for me to practice that. We'll figure it out as we go. Got a good plan going into the next week. Yeah, focusing on the intentionality while I play every round. And we'll talk about that in next week's video. But for now, thank you for anyone tuning in to these end of week remark videos, end of week discussions. I don't know if people are going to like these at all. I kind of like it because it's like this outlet for me to just kind of speak authentically and speak as I am to the camera. And I've always wanted that to be a big part of my content, authenticity and just showing up as me and giving my thoughts on things. So, yeah, if people like it, we'll keep doing it. If it gets no views, if it gets negative views, maybe we'll stop. But for now, you can expect to keep seeing them. This has been Wusagan heading into week 3. Pray for me. I need to do well, but I need to let go of doing well too. So it's tricky. But we'll figure it out. Bye-bye for now.